Were the Arab countries once overflowing with plains and rivers? The Arabic Peninsula is the land from which emerged the Islamic religion, and is also the native homeland to the Arabs. An area of deserts and sand dunes cover the geographical location of the Arabic Peninsula, in all but a few parts. The Arabic Peninsula is partial to hot weather, arid desert lands, and rare water resources, with the exception of several modern-day cities reclaiming once was barren lands. But is it, in fact, the case that the Arabic Peninsula has always had such a formidable desert-like climate? Geologists lay claim that several glacial periods, called ice ages, have occurred throughout Earth's history, with the most recent 10,000 years ago. According to the Encyclopedia Britannica, during the last ice age, massive amounts of glacial ice accumulated in the region of the North Pole. These layers of ice then began to expand southwards and later covered half of the North American continent and most of Europe in its icy grasp. Due to the impact of this ice expansion, flora flourished and water resources multiplied in the form of rivers and springs. The Arabic Peninsula enjoyed therefore a rainy and moderate climate. The great quantities of oil reserves owned by the Arabic Peninsula today is the proof of the former existence of this flora. In fact, oil is the result of the reaction between the extensive vegetal organic materials and the animal residues which were abundant in the Arabic Peninsula thousands of years ago. On the other hand, Ubar and Al-Fau villages were discovered in the Arabian desert under sand dunes and incited the geologists to believe that the Arabic desert was once overflowing with trees and rivers that became obliterated due to the climate fluctuations after the end of the Ice Age. How will the Arabic Peninsula climate be in the future? Geologists say that the glacial storms that strike Europe and America from time to time forecast a forthcoming Ice Age which will take back the Arabic Peninsula to what it was before, a land overflowing with plains and rivers. 14 centuries before the discovery of these facts, the Prophet Muhammad said in an authentic tradition reported by a Muslim,
لا تقوم الساعة حتى تعود أرض العرب مروجا وأنهارا. حديث صحيح رواه مسلم.
The last hour will not come until the Arab land becomes once again overflowing with plains, Marujan, and rivers, and Haran. This tradition contains two aspects of scientific wonders. The first one is the establishment of a historical reality, stating that the Arabic Peninsula was once a land overflowing with plains and rivers. The second wonder is the confirmation that it will go back to what it was before. In the past, it was difficult to explain these two facts on the basis of a scientific point of view, until modern geology brought forward the right interpretation. When the translation of this tradition was presented to the German scientist Alfred Kroner, one of the most famous geologists in the world, he simply declared in a televised program this could have been known to him only through revelation from above.
I think if you combine all these, and you combine all these statements that are being made in the Quran, in terms that relate to the earth and the formation of the earth and science in general, you can basically say that the statements made there in many ways are true. They can now be confirmed by scientific methods, and in a way you can say that the Quran is a simple science textbook for the simple man, and that many of the statements made in there at that time could not be proven, but that modern scientific methods are now in a position to prove what Muhammad said 1400 years ago.